Hi, everyone.
Good day. We're in the Proclaimer's book, page 112, Programs of Education Enriched and Diversified. Under the direction of the governing body and its teaching committee, programs of instruction for the headquarters staff and for Bethel families in the branches around the world were enriched and given greater variety. In addition to reading the Bible and the yearbook as part of their morning worship, there was introduced an in-depth analysis of the portion of the Bible read during the preceding week, with application of the material to those serving at Bethel. Regular reports from various Bethel departments, as well as more frequent reports from zone overseers, were also introduced. Now, this is, of course, talking about the transition from the period 1975 to the publication of the book, 1992. So they're going to show you some charts, so we'll point those out in a minute. To meet the needs of those with added responsibilities within the organization, further educational programs were designed and put into operation. During 1977, arrangements were made for all elders to attend a 15-hour course of the Kingdom Ministry School. Since then, similar sessions of varying lengths have been arranged every few years, and beginning in 1984, ministerial servants also received training in the Kingdom Ministry School. In Brooklyn, starting in December 1977, a special 5-week school for branch committee members began.
Special concern was also shown for those who were expending themselves in the full-time ministry as pioneers. In December 1977, the Pioneer Service School, a 2-week course of training for pioneer ministers, was inaugurated in the United States and eventually extended to all parts of the earth. During the next 14 years, the number of pioneers increased more than 5-fold, from 115,389 to 605,610. In the fall of 1987, another new school was opened, the Ministerial Training School. This school was established to train qualified single brothers who had some experience as elders or ministerial servants and who were willing to serve wherever there was a need in the worldwide field. By 1992, classes had been held in Australia, Austria, Britain, El Salvador, France, Germany, Italy, Mexico, Nigeria, Spain, Sweden, and the United States. The result has been not a class of individuals who are viewed as superior to others in the congregation, but rather an increase in the number of men well qualified to serve their brothers. To further the global work of Bible education, international conventions were scheduled in strategically located cities. Some in lands where Jehovah's Witnesses had been under ban. These conventions served to strengthen the brothers in those areas and to give strong impetus to the preaching of the good news in those lands.
And on these pages, they show these charts to show the increase in number of pioneers on the left and the number of people in the worldwide Bethel families on the right. Mm-hmm. And it all looks very impressive if you have nothing to compare it with.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I read, attend a 15-hour course, every few years certain things being done, these kinds of schools, 5-week school, 2-week course, now, I would have been impressed back then, when I was a witness reading this. But now I know that there are people who go to school for years before they become qualified to represent the church or be used in service, ministers and missionaries.
Yeah, this is ludicrous when you think of what preparation you think is good, suitable to make what they call well-qualified men.
Yeah.
A principle that's not even being thought about here or certainly analyzed is, wait a minute, you send them into their work first and then you train them later?
Yeah.
You make a man an elder and then you send him to a class to learn how to be an elder?
So
No, this is not the way
yeah.
Christendom has done it for centuries.
So I had no I I didn't think about the fact that people would go to school for years to learn, and they would be taught just specific areas thoroughly.
Certainly, Bible exegesis is taught, pastoring skills and mentorship and things like that. But do you know how much time is devoted to this by the average seminary? The average seminary asks a man to devote 3 or 4 years of his life to becoming basic.
Yeah.
And if he's going to be a teacher, he's going to go beyond his master's degree, let's say, and go to PhD level, and therefore be qualified to teach in a seminary or a university. He's probably going to have to dedicate somewhere between 5 and 15 years of his life just to learning before he gets to the point where he teaches others.
Yeah, before he can actually serve.
So, in a way, the Watchtower therefore shows they're reversing the traditional method. The laying on of hands has to happen before you take up your assignment. That's not the way it works, as you know. I was thrown out door to door when I was barely baptized. No, even before I was baptized. I was going door to door, which was normal in the 1970s.
So when I was a witness and I thought I was studying the Bible, I now look at that as, no, I was studying Watchtower publications. Now I'm studying the Bible, and it does take years and then what you forget, right? So you have to go over material again.
Yeah.
So we were satisfied with what would only be called a milk diet.
Yeah.
And the milk diet of the Watchtower isn't even adequate. It's not a nutritious milk that you're being served.
That's right. It's not only not enough milk,
yeah,
to feed the average person satisfactorily, but it's tainted milk at that, as we now know, but we didn't know it then. But what the pathetic part was, we thought we were well fed. That's why Hebrews 5, the text that we want to read here, is so apropos.
And we thought we were
dilemma.
Qualified to go door to door and teach other people.
We certainly did.
Oh yeah, you wanted to read Hebrews
5, 11 to 14. This is in the Silver Sword, right?
Right. We have much to say about him, and it is difficult to explain, because you have become dull in your hearing. For although by now you should be teachers, you again need someone to teach you from the beginning the elementary things of the sacred pronouncements of God, and you have gone back to needing milk, not solid food. For everyone who continues to feed on milk is unacquainted with the word of righteousness, for he is a young child. But solid food belongs to mature people, to those who through use have their powers of discernment trained to distinguish both right and wrong.
And yet when we were pioneers back in the 1970s, I think you did auxiliary pioneering from the age you were 14, 15, right?
Yeah,
we're being sent as missionaries to the doors of people who know, admittedly, they often know less than we do. Sometimes they know a lot more than we do. But nevertheless, we view ourselves as adequately trained to go as missionaries door to door.
We never thought anyone knew more than us. No. We never treated them as if they might know something more than us. So I think the contrast is there. And we're not saying that every Christian is trained like this, or even desires to be trained like this. There is laziness everywhere. It's not just witnesses or any specific group. Laziness is just common to a lot of people. But there's potential of getting more educated when you're a Christian, I would say. In the Christian community, there's so much potential. There's so much things that you can access learning.
The food is there. That's what it amounts to. The food is not there in the Watchtower. Yet you continue to send people out with this pride that somehow they know better than everybody else, and that pride, of course, is fatal to any advancement. So Hebrews
yeah.
5 I think of as being, like you said, it's inevitable that people even forget what they once learned. The whole book of Hebrews is about people who've gone backslid as it were.
Yeah, had to go back to a milk diet because
But that's all you ever get as a witness.
That's right.
You never get to the meat.
There's a milk diet for everyone in the Watchtower, at least in the Christian community. If you want more than milk, and you should get so that you're wanting solid food.
It's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
There's potential. There's lots of potential. There's lots of resources available for you to learn more.
So what's our link?
This is a Ray Franz when we were reading through his freedom book. I forget the title now.
Oh.
This one is called "Can Milk-Fed JWs Ever Discern Right and Wrong?" And then we'll put the playlist in of teachers.
Yeah, that teacher's playlist now has almost 1,600 videos on it.
So that gives you some of the potential of people you can learn from. Yeah.
See you next time.
Mm-hmm.